Hi, image stabilisation is an important tool that can be very useful when shooting handheld or from a moving platform. There are a couple of different ways to help stabilise your footage when using the Sony PXW FX9. The FX9 can use lenses that feature optical stabilisation or steady shot, or it has the ability to add motion metadata to the internally recorded XAVC clips so that image stabilisation can be performed in post-production. You can use one or the other, but not both together. Let's start by looking at optical stabilisation. When a lens that includes a compatible optical stabilisation system is attached to the camera, you can enable the steady shot function to make use of the lens's stabilisation function by going to the menu, shooting, steady shot, setting, and setting it to standard. In addition, if the lens has a separate steady shot or image stabilisation switch, you'll need to set this to on in order to activate the stabilisation. The performance of the stabilisation will be entirely dependent on the lens that's being used. Its primary purpose is to eliminate camera shake. It's not meant to replace stabilisation systems such as a Steadicam or a gimbal. Steady shot can also be turned on and off via direct menu. As an alternative to optical stabilisation, you can stabilise your footage on a computer or in post-production using metadata that the camera records about the way it's moving while the shot's being taken. Sony's Catalyst Browse application can then be used to quickly perform the stabilisation process. In addition, it's expected that this function will become available in most of the major edit applications in the near future. In order to use the post-production stabilisation feature, you must set the steady shot setting in the camera's menu to off. In addition, the lens that you are using must be a Sony E-mount lens capable of sending valid focal length data to the camera, because the stabilisation software needs not only the FX9's built-in gyro information, but also lens focal length information. I believe that optical stabilisation is normally preferable, as you can see the stabilisation effect while you're shooting. However, the post-production stabilisation is very effective, and you have the ability to adjust the amount of stabilisation that's applied. If you intend to use the post-production stabilisation method, I recommend that you use a faster shutter speed than perhaps you would normally to prevent blurring of the image during any rapid camera movement. I suggest a minimum shutter speed of 1/100th of a second or a 90-degree shutter. The metadata-based post-production stabilisation system is very advanced, and it incorporates geometric corrections to provide a very natural-looking image after stabilisation. Due to the geometric corrections, in many instances, the stabilisation effect may be superior to those achieved via other software stabilisation processes. In this example, we can see how effective the post-production metadata stabilisation is. The original clip is on the left and the stabilised clip on the right. If we now compare the clip stabilised with the metadata process, again on the right, with the same clip stabilised using the built-in software stabiliser of a popular edit application, you can see how the geometric corrections in the metadata process greatly improve the way the material looks. Because the metadata-based stabilisation process doesn't need to analyse the footage to determine how to stabilise it prior to applying the stabilisation corrections, it's normally much faster to use than more traditional software that first has to do an analysis pass. When using Catalyst Browse to stabilise footage, a preview is available extremely quickly, even on a modest computer. Stabilising a clip in Catalyst Browse is very easy. First, ensure that you're running the very latest version of Catalyst. Within Catalyst Browse, simply navigate to the clip that you wish to stabilise, then go to the Tools tab. Here you should find the stabilisation option. Select it. Catalyst will then prepare a side-by-side preview showing the clip before and after stabilisation. On the right-hand side of Catalyst, you'll see the option to switch between manual and auto. By going to manual, you can increase and decrease the amount of stabilisation by changing the cropping ratio. Once you're happy with the amount of stabilisation, you can use the export function to create a copy of the original clip with the stabilisation applied to it. By default, the new clip will use the same codec, frame size and frame rate as the original, but you can choose from a range of different codecs should you wish. To reset the transcoding options, simply click the reset button.